Okay, I was going to start this video by saying, here's the top 10 things you should know your real estate agent should do for you. But I will say this, if you're going to buy a home this year, these are the things that you should be expecting from a good real estate agent. I'm going to go through them, I'm going to explain my experiences, and don't just settle for a real estate agent that opens doors and sends you Zillow links, because there is much more to this business than that. And with 20 years experience in real estate, I have seen great real estate agents who literally bend over backwards for their clients. I try to include myself in that group. So here is a list that I hope you can use. I'll post it in the comments as well, I think, so that it's bullet pointed. But here's the things a good real estate agent or broker should be doing for you. Number one, they got to understand the buyer's needs. So, what's your budget, your preferred location, what's your lifestyle goals, your must have features? Those are basics. Often, agents will send out a questionnaire. It will have those kind of questions in it, or they'll sit down with you and kind of just go through all those things with you. So, understanding the buyer's needs is kind of, a no brainer. Two is educate you about what's going on in the local market right now that you're interested in. What are the neighborhood trends? What are the realistic expectations? That is a huge one, because realistic expectations, often local lenders know the local market and can navigate any local ordinance hurdles that might kill a deal, zoning issues that might pop up. Because they've dealt with it in the past, they can help navigate those better than, say, a big box Bank of America lender, or somebody like that. All right, number four, search actively for properties. Everybody goes on Zillow, let's face it, or Redfin, and they go and search for properties. And a good agent will have off-market opportunities that aren't published in Zillow or Redfin. They have other agents they work with and know about deals that may not even be off market yet, but maybe in the planning stages. So a good real estate agent will have resources so that they can bring you opportunities, or they'll go out and generate opportunities. I, for one, have sent letters to neighborhoods asking people if they're interested in selling, because I've had a couple who really wants a specific neighborhood or a specific school district. Not always successful. I won't sugarcoat it, but there are occasions where that works and we can get people into a house off market. I can think of one that I did a couple of years ago where I just happened to be talking to another agent in my office. His dad was moving out of a neighborhood that I had clients that they wanted to move into. House never made it to the MLS, so it never made it on Zillow. We got the deal done. The seller was happy with the price that my buyers were willing to pay. My buyers still did all the inspections that they needed to do, and we got the deal done for them. Everybody walked away happy. So it doesn't always hit the market. So make sure you have an agent that has networks. All right. Number five, I believe, is schedule and accompany you on showings. Now, if you want to go to open houses, that's great. Often the agent won't go along with you to the open houses because, one, they may not know you're actually out going to open houses, or two, um, I often find it's better for people to go through an open house, and then if they're interested in the house, they let me know, and we go back for a second showing where I accompany them and we walk through some of the questions they might have. You know, if you don't have your agent going with you to see houses, that's kind of, I think that's a lazy agent, because they should be there walking through the house with you, giving their experience, especially if it's houses that they've gone to in the neighborhood often. They know something about the neighborhoods. They can answer questions on the fly about, what's going on in the neighborhood, what's the schools like, what restaurants are nearby, what are commute times, things like that. So they should accompany you to the showings. Analyze comparable sales. Those are called comps in our language. And what we do is we go through and we determine based on comparable sales, just like an appraiser would. We look at properties and try to compare apples to apples to come up with an idea of, is this house overpriced, underpriced, fairly priced? What's going on with the pricing based on what's going on with comparables in the market. So make sure that you have an agent that knows how to dig into the math. So next would be, you get to the point where you want to write an offer and you want to develop a strong offer strategy. That includes any contingencies that you may have. Let's say there's some property issues that you want to investigate still, but you do want to get into contract. So the idea is, okay, you read an inspection report. You don't have time necessarily to get some quotes maybe because there's an offer deadline, or you want to make sure you get your offer in before somebody else is accepted. You can write a contingent offer. So that would be a strong strategy. Timing and any other negotiation tactics. Your agent should be able to help you with all that, um, and basically lay the most successful groundwork possible to get your offer accepted. Now, keep in mind, not all offers are accepted when there's multiple offers. You can only accept one offer per house. So don't beat up your agent too much if you're in a competitive marketplace. If you're if you have a strategy that you guys all agree to and it doesn't happen to play out, um, you have to learn to move on to the next one. Now, if it happens over and over again, maybe your strategy is not right, and you need to have a conversation with your agent about your strategy. But in a competitive market, I've seen as many as 26 offers on one house. Well, only one of those 26 offers gets accepted. Now, many of them might have gotten countered, and then you still have a chance to decide if you want to come up in price or change your terms and things like that. But those are part of your strategy conversation with your agent. Negotiation, negotiation skills, and this is what I alluded to just now in like counter offers, um, or you're in contract and you found out that there's some issues with the property and you want to go back and ask for either a price reduction or a credit, or a combination of both, or you want the seller to fix the thing before you own it. All of those can be accomplished through negotiation skills and good negotiation skills. Most good agents know all the other agents that they're working with on the other side of the transaction because they've been around a while. Unless you have a brand new agent who just hasn't met all the other agents. So they may not know the personalities on the other side of the transaction. I could say that probably 7 out of 10 offers that I write, I know the agent on the other side of the transaction. So I have an idea of how they negotiate or what their personality is like so that we can um, customize our offer to kind of meet what I think they will be advising their seller. So that helps when you're trying to negotiate, is kind of knowing what the other side's personality is like, finding out, this is a good one, finding out what the seller wants. You should do this before you write the offer, but you should have your agent call the other agent, the listing agent, and say, hey, what is it that the seller's expecting from this offer? And see what they say. You know, maybe you can customize your offer so that your offer is better than everybody else's. And I will tell you this is shocking, but out of all the houses I list, I maybe get 2 out of 10 agents who actually call me and say, hey, what is your seller expecting from an offer? What is it they need to get a successful offer accepted? It's a simple conversation to have, but a lot of lazy agents don't even pick up the phone and talk to the listing agent. They want to do everything via email and texting. Maybe I'm old school. I still like to have conversations with agents, but make sure your agent gets on the phone with the other agent and finds out what it is the seller's expecting. Or you, if you're at an open house, you can ask that same question. What is it that the seller expects from a successful offer. Now, they may not tell you the same thing they tell another agent. So maybe you can compare apples to apples if you have your agent make that same phone call. All right. Next is coordinating inspections and due diligence. Once you're in contract, if there's additional inspections that need to be done, whether it be a pest inspection, a home inspection, a chimney inspection, a septic inspection, sewer lateral, there's all kinds of different inspections, roof inspection. Your agent should be able to coordinate all that with the resources and vendors that they have in their phone. So make sure you get an agent who's been around a little bit, who can tap into those resources. If you have a new agent, just make sure that they work for maybe a larger brokerage so that they can tap into the brokerage resources to get those inspections done. Because working with inspectors over and over again, you kind of learn how to have conversations with them. Where I work in the Monterey Bay, Silicon Valley area, I know a lot of the inspectors, so I know their personalities, how they do inspections. Some inspectors are better than others. You want to have a really good inspector, especially when you're on the buyer side, because you don't want anything left on the table that may come up after you've closed escrow. But keep in mind, Murphy's Law says that something's going to go wrong as soon as you got the keys to the house that wasn't showing up in the inspection, because nobody looks behind walls. Things break. So, you should just expect to see that. But anyway, and then, speaking of these inspections, once these inspections come up, or when you're about to write an offer, going through the disclosures, that's the preliminary title report. That's the home and pest inspections. That's HOA documents if you're buying into an HOA. Understanding all of those documents, what they mean. Insurance is another one out here in California. Making sure that the insurance quote is a true and accurate quote, not just a fabricated quote for the disclosure file. And then as you get towards closing, you may want to, like I said, a good real estate agent will advise you on negotiating for repairs or credits, price reductions. They'll attend the final walkthrough with you to make sure the house is still in the condition that you expect it to be before you get the keys. And then finally, they'll coordinate title and escrow closings and walk you through what to expect when you go to the escrow or title office to close escrow. Title and escrow are different all over the country, and even in California, it's different in Northern California than Southern California. Sometimes title and escrow are separate, sometimes they're together. So, and then sometimes an attorney's involved, like a escrow attorney or a title attorney. So, in Northern California, where I am, escrow and title are all in one office. So when you go to sign off, you sign the loan documents and you get title all in one office, all at one appointment. So it makes it much easier. So those are the things that a good real estate agent should be able to walk you through, help you with, advise, consult, negotiate, and just give you their general knowledge from experience. I hope this helps. I hope you find a really good real estate agent to work with, because it makes all the difference. You'll feel much better at the end of the process if you didn't have to guess halfway through or half of the time in the process what was going on. So make sure you get a communicator. Make sure that they understand, all the different disclosures and reports. Make sure that they understand you as a buyer, and I think you'll have, and then make sure they have good communication skills. And with that, I hope that you have a successful transaction, and that you find a really great real estate agent. There's a lot of great agents out there. If you need referrals, I'm happy to give you referrals. I work for Keller Williams. So there are about 200 and something thousand agents around the country. And I've met dozens and dozens of them in most metro areas. So I can give you some good referrals. Anyway, I hope this helps. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, all the stuff that you should do with these YouTube videos. It really helps my channel. We're growing. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers. I would love it if we got a ton more because I hope that I'm offering a valuable service. And I know most of you don't get to the end of these videos, but if you do, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day, everybody.